Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Love ya, and just want to put this message out there for people who may think, I don't know, I guess people who are younger than me maybe haven't experienced much of life. Um, I think it's important for a good amount of people to go to college. If you're going to be something like a doctor, obviously, if you're going to do a trade, like be a plumber or electrician, it can be um, super important. Um, if you're gonna be, engineer, something along those lines. There's a good amount of professions that it is really beneficial to go to college. Um, but I think you should, as much as you can, be open to alternative education or looking for sort of innovative schools that don't make you go through a bunch of trash just to learn what you need to learn. Um, if you're going to be an engineer, you don't need to take, interpretive dance class. You don't need to take, um, some sort of history of Middle Asia or something like this. Um, you don't need to take you don't need to learn a foreign language. Those things are all can all be great things, fun things. If you want to do those things, that's do it. Do it. But if you really want to be an engineer, you don't care about all these extra, required courses that don't directly have to do with engineering. Um, I would suggest trying to find a school where they don't make you take much of those extra things, or if there is any, where they don't make you take any. Even if it costs a little more than those other schools, I think it'd be better. Now, if you want to have, if your life, if you kind of look at it just, oh, you want to have a normal life, you want to just have some fun in college, if it's not that important for you to kind of make money or get out on your own, then, yeah, a normal college could be perfectly great, perfectly fine for you. Um, I still recommend trying to get one that's not so expensive, but, it's your life. For everybody else who doesn't, I couldn't list off all the types of professions where it's very important to go to college, but I'll give you some examples of things where you really don't need to. Um, Something like marketing, advertising, anything to do with any sort of art, or most things to do with some sort of art, unless it's like teaching, you might need to get um, go to school for teaching in order to teach art or something like that. But um, if you're even, and this is going to be maybe some people would disagree, but I'd say business. I would say possibly HR, recruitment. Um, there's so many things that there are so many things that there are really popular degrees for. English, um, writing, all of these things. It's like people take major in English, and that might be good, that might be helpful, but um, is it worth 4 years of your life? Is it worth, a ton of money if you're in America? I don't know. And not everything's about, just working really hard, working efficiently, and getting done what you want to get done, and making money or whatever. But um, I'll just kind of give an example of myself is that Oh, there's people in this video. Um, uh, I majored in business, and companies don't care. Excuse me, business administration. No company offered me anything um, that was remotely close to something with administrating a business. Um, and somebody might say, "Oh, well, it's for you to, you know, get into the business," and then they might look at your experience and or your where you went to school, what you majored in, and give you whatever promotion based on that. No, they're not going to do that. I have found my way into some businesses, and they really don't care at all what I did once I got in the company. And then somebody might say, "Oh, it's a stepping stone to get an MBA." Okay, it could be, but I've heard from other people who have MBAs that they really couldn't get an administrative role right away either. Um, and if you want to really be taking charge of a company or have your own company or something, if you listen to uh, a lot of ultra wealthy people, I'm thinking in particular of Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. They'll say that the MBAs are like uh, really not good for companies and possibly hurting companies. And it's because when it is similar to art in that it isn't just, hey, here, you connect these dots, just study this and learn this, and you can run a company, you can administrate a company. It's not like that. It's like these sort of jobs is like throwing you into real life. It's not like going, you have to be a problem solver, and that just, you have to like go through experience problems and figure out how to overcome them and things, and figure out how to learn and teach yourself and get better at things. And school doesn't really do much of that because there's no way to grade. So like if just to throw an example out there, like um, if you have this group of people and they don't like the way that they're being compensated, there's no way to grade how well that works out because every situation can be so different from one another. In a certain business administrative setting or with a certain business, you might have a bunch of people who do a certain type of work, or you might have a certain culture at the company. You might have a certain camaraderie. Um, there might be certain legalities. So there's all of these factors that go into it. And if you maybe I don't know, maybe like a Harvard Business School might kind of throw all these factors at you, and they might have really good way of measuring whether or not it'll work out and whatnot. But from what I studied, I went to a state school, which is like okay. Most state schools in America are at least decent. Um, and it was very peripheral, uh, very much. I didn't get any takeaway from it. I don't feel like I'm any better at administrating than I was before. And since working in a company, yeah, I don't think there's one thing that I took away. There's things even in high school that I use in my daily life and kind of add, but and there might be a few things from college, but it's very minimal. Not worth 4 years. Not worth a ton of money. Um, so for somebody doing something like that, if you want to do finance, can get a little more tricky because there's a little more legalities with that. But something like finance, um, human resources, business, these analyst or something, I would highly recommend getting in a company as quick as you can. Go to some get some major that you find a company where you know that you can get some sort of internship, or you can talk with them before you even go to school and say, like, what are you guys looking for? Try to get in with them and get real experience, and then and see if they have pathway to just getting a job right away, either maybe even in college. Um, and you could possibly even leave the college by just applying to other places while you're still in college. And the world is not set in stone. Some companies have a certain protocol, but not all of them have the same protocol. And even if they do have a protocol, it doesn't mean that that's the end all be all. And especially if you can learn how to sell yourself a bit, you can get in to a good job and without even finishing college, and possibly without even going, depending on what you're into. If you work at a if you get into an upstart or make your own or something, you can show that to a company, and you can show it's grew under your management or with your supports. That's a huge thing. That's way bigger than I went to college. It might be, you might think it's risky. In my opinion, it's actually less risky because you're still, when you have a job, you're still making money and you're still getting experience. And even if it fails, there's still something to show. And if you tell that to an interviewer or somebody high up at a company, they're going to be really impressed that you actually did something. And better yet, you might even be able to just use that experience to start your own company and make it successful if the one you were working at before failed, or if you just want to start your own. So anyway, kind of branching off of that into like art, I do think it is possible to learn some skills with art and become better and better and better. This certainly isn't a video trying to discourage somebody from that. However, I would really recommend people not go to college if you're doing any sort of thing like acting, singing, dancing, drawing, painting, and again, unless you're doing some sort of like art therapy or art teaching or whatever. With the internet now, just learn. Just learn from the internet. Do whatever you can. Learn from the internet. If you're gonna be like if you want to be a professional dancer, join a dance troupe or something. Join. You can record yourself and see how you're doing. Like, there's so many things you can do just on your own. You don't need to go to. I don't even know if they have I'm sure they have a school of dancing, of course. That can work. It can work, certainly. But you really don't need to go to school for these types of things. Again, especially now with the internet, there's so many things you can learn. If you want to be like a music producer or something, there's a bajillion videos about how to make a beat, how to make melody, chorus, harmony, and all these things. It's so, you could probably learn how to make like a decent song in a day. I think pretty easily. I know a guy who was offered he's like, somebody told him that they're looking for an editor, and he's like, yeah, I can do it. And he just went on and he just watched like video editing videos for I think like a week, and he was already really good at it before he started the job. and that there's certainly a good amount of, I don't know if art is the right word, but creative decisions in that. I think think you can make an argument that it's sort of a type of art. I think the best example would be like comedy, and that there's no comedy schools because it's so brutally obvious if something's working or not. And I think that's how you got to be with yourself. Um, uh, not in the sense of, oh, I'm going to quit, it's not working. In the sense of, how can I find a way to make this work? So yeah, I don't know. I might talk more about this in the future, but I was just kind of thinking about those types of things, and um, yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you want, and have a good one. Love ya.